which is nice, yeah, good. Yeah, you can.
Yes, we got our answer.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for our committee meeting here. We will call our committee meeting to order for January 29th, 2025, 6 o'clock p.m. here in council chambers. We are discussing this evening committee issues for the February 4th and February 18th, 2025 legislative agenda as follows. Up first, we have on the agenda is a resolution appointing probationary firefighters. I don't believe we have any representation from our York City Fire Department here.
I can cover it though, essentially.
I was going to throw it over to you.
Yeah. So there are essentially 7 vacancies in the fire department at the moment, caused by retirements, a couple resignations here and there, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. And they have an active, essentially probationary firefighter examination list with civil service. So we're just requesting permission to pull from that list in order to hire 7 for the next academy.
Thank you, Business Administrator Robertson. Does council have any comments regarding this or any questions? Does the public have any comments or questions regarding this? Okay. I make a motion to place this on the February 4th, 2025 legislative agenda.
So moved. Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That moves,
only voted for the committee.
yes,
Right,
just
right.
committee.
So
It's
she
me.
said, Felicia did say, she's on the phone,
Yeah,
and
I
I
heard.
heard her say yes.
Yep.
Our microphones aren't on. Well, yours isn't, yeah.
I'm gonna move it, I'm gonna move this microphone over here by Felicia.
So that agenda item moves forward to be placed on our February 4th, 2025 legislative agenda. Up next, we have a resolution approving the 2024-2026 FOP collective bargaining agreement. As we see, we don't have any representation here regarding that, so I will throw it over to our business administrator, Robertson.
Yep, that would be me. This is essentially similar to the resolution we just approved for the YIPPY, the York Employees Public Association union, is that we have a collective bargaining agreement that for the FOP, this is actually the result of an arbitration award, an Act 111 interest arbitration award. So essentially what that means is that the union and the city worked on negotiating a new contract. They got to a stalemate and was requested to take advantage of the option that our police and fire unions have for Act 111 interest arbitrations. We went through the process of hearings, and the independent arbitrator with legal representation from both sides essentially issued an award that was issued on October 28th, 2024. So last contract, we worked with the union in order to incorporate the award, the changes to the contract into a new contract item, as opposed to working with the expired contract and then an award as we're working through the remainder of this effective period. And it was very helpful. So that's what we are working to do for this contract. This is a request to put it on the February 18th meeting because we are still in the process of working with the union to clarify that adding the changes from the arbitration award to the existing contract language that we all agree with, where we're changing the words and whatnot. So this is essentially just me taking advantage of the committee meeting process in order to put this on the agenda for the 18th with the expectation that the actual final award would be submitted to the city clerk in time for the agenda for the 18th meeting to be provided to everybody. If for some reason we do not have a resolution by then I'll just request that the item is pulled and I'll bring it back to you when we're ready for it. So that's what this is.
Thank you, Business Administrator Robertson. Do we have any comments or questions from council regarding this matter?
Just a comment. I noticed in the our American Arbitration Association award that we have. In the discipline section, it says it's amending Article XVII, so 18, discipline, to eliminate the use of a Board of Appeals and/or trial board, and reaffirm that an officer and/or the FOP has the right to grieve and arbitrate any discipline that is a level 2 or above. And it refers back, then you can go back to the discipline section. I was just trying to look at that. So it's still, there is a method. It just, this secondary alternative method has been removed so that it ends up going to, they grieve it all the way up to the mayor, if I'm reading that correctly, and then if they don't, if like that answer, then they can go to arbitration. Is that my understanding?
Correct.
And there is an arbitrator who makes a binding decision at that point.
Correct.
So, okay. Just thought that was important. I think it's important for all staff to get performance reviews, and so that could lead, I suppose, somebody to grieve if they didn't, if there was an issue with a performance review.
That
or
is not a grievable item within the contract, because
Okay.
there's nothing about performance reviews in the contract, so they are only able to grieve what is in the contract. That I don't believe, now, the union obviously brings it up to management if there's concerns, and we work with them for resolution, but I don't believe that specifically. It's more discipline level 2 on, is in terms of that there was behavior or actions on behalf of the officer that administration looked into and investigated and deemed that it warranted what they consider in their general order as a level 2 offense. That is then essentially, you get the write-up, you get the discipline, and whatever penalty is involved with it, they would have the right to grieve the discipline.
Okay.
But there are other aspects. The grievance process is about other aspects within the collective bargaining agreement that if the members or the union decide that, that they think that we're not following what we should, that they can grieve. So it's not just discipline that gets grieved.
Okay, thank you. Where do I read about the different levels to understand?
That specifically, I believe, is part of the police general orders, so you'd have to reach out to Commissioner Muldrow.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions from council regarding this matter? Are there any comments or questions from the public regarding this matter? Yes, sir.
Manuel Gomez, City of York, always a privilege to be here, even though I almost barely made it this time. It's been a trend nationwide that police unions do want the removal of trial boards and even the boards of appeal.
I'm sorry, Manny, I can't hear you.
Yeah, if you could speak up.
Cliff, I think the mic is on. I don't know if it's Cliff or if it was me.
Don't blame Cliff, you need to project better.
I typically rise as I speak, but
Now start from the beginning.
I think that it's a trend nationwide that the trial boards and even the boards of appeals, the various police unions, they've come to see them in a disfavor. They don't like them. But to not belabor the point, they have this arbitration ruling. That is what it is. You guys have specific powers as city council under the third class charter and so on. We can do other things if our accountability was really in question. There's a lot of people, if they really knew what was happening, they wouldn't like that the trial boards were being done away with. Some people weren't fans of the trial boards anyway. If you've paid any attention, there's been some alleged misconduct that was widely covered right here locally with our own police department, and it can go both ways. But I would just say that when it comes to accountability and ways to hold our police officers accountable, you guys have other tools as well. It doesn't all have to be just what the city and the police themselves are bound by with that agreement. We have other recourses. We've had them before. Some of them were removed. We had civilian review boards, and there's more things that you can do. I wouldn't say that's the end-all, be-all, if that were really a concern. It's good to see it raised and that you saw it. It stood out to me as well, but we'll see what comes of it. I even expected more representation tonight, but I guess going forward, we'll see and hear more.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment regarding this matter this evening? Before the vote, I just want to remind my colleagues on council that for the vote, this is only those on Fire and Police Committee, which is myself, Council Vice President Buckingham, and Councilwoman Dennis. Is there a motion to place this on the February 18th, 2025 legislative agenda?
So moved.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Felicia? Are you in favor? Are you in favor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And that moves forward to be placed on our February 18th, 2025 legislative agenda. Up next, we have a resolution approving the 2044 comprehensive plan. Do we have representation here? Oh, Jessica.
Good morning, or good evening.
Oh, good evening.
Ladies of council. My name is Jessica Fieldhouse. I work for C.S. Davidson, the city's engineer. I assisted the city with finalizing the draft of the comprehensive plan. We are before you this evening, hoping to have the comprehensive plan placed, I believe, on the February 4th agenda to have a public hearing date scheduled at that February 4th meeting, at which point we can do advertising, hold the public hearing, and then adoption can occur after that public hearing. We have been receiving public comments on the plan since about October. We are still taking in a handful of comments. Elsbeth has sent us a bunch of comments. Nothing has been really substantive, just very good additions to add in. So still, if there are comments, it's not quite too late. It's not too late until we get to adopt. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, this is specifically the opening of the 45-day comment
Right.
period, so we are we're still absolutely soliciting.
Right. So if there is feedback, if you have marked up your version of the draft plan, please send those comments to Nancy, and she will get them to me, and we'll review them and try and incorporate them. And outside of that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. I just want to comment to our residents in the city of York that the comprehensive plan, you can view it on our website at yorkcity.org if you would choose to view that. And as Jessica shared, you can contact Nancy. Her information is on the website if you have any comments. Or if you have comments you can't find them, you can contact us as council members and we can share that information with Nancy. I just wanted, another comment I had, I just want to share the process of gathering the information initially for the comprehensive plan. I loved it. I thought it was very well received by the community. Only thing I would like, if we would have had a little bit more meetings, but I thought it was great. We had the one in this room, and community members coming in, adding comments, information, was able to speak and talk, and even taking the time to review and go through the plan. I love the layout of the plan. It's easy to read, easy to digest, easy to take in for our residents. It's not like a 5,000-page document that someone needs to comb through, but it's easy to use and view. Yeah, but I'm talking.
big enough.
I'm talking about the quick look, the whatever you call it. You know what I'm talking about.
The executive summary.
Yes, the executive
Yes.
summary, able for our residents to take a quick look and review those that have. Not everybody has time to look through the 2,000-page document, but be able to have the executive summary and review it. But I just want to say kudos to our Community and Economic Development team, to you and everyone in the city of York for your great work on that. I'm looking forward to hearing more comments from the community and you all sharing that and us moving forward. And I would like to see if any of my colleagues on council have any comments or questions.
I'd just like to, state, I went to a lot of the public meetings, and I was really impressed with the feedback, and then I was really pleased when I saw that feedback show up in this comprehensive plan, that comment from the public was taken into consideration and, part of developing it.
Could you just address the density? It does call for greater density. Is it citywide?
Increased density is being advocated in areas that are within walking distance to transit stops, mostly in our urban, our UN1, UN2 downtown business areas. The plan isn't necessarily advocating for increased densities in the R1 and R2 neighborhoods, but what we are looking for is for increased diversity in housing type, which would lead to a slight increase in density, but density is necessary for our urban environments to have the resources and the services that are necessary. It keeps our downtown functioning to have people not only here for work during the day, but then also living here at night and using services and spending disposable income. So that's one of the reasons why density is so important in our downtown. Moving out from the downtown, what we want to encourage is mixed income neighborhoods by providing opportunities to create a more diverse housing stock. So we want to, if we can, move slightly away from single-family detached home only neighborhoods and say, you know, maybe there is a space here for a pedestrian scale. And when I say pedestrian scale, I mean basically a structure that is house size that has 3 or 4 units in it. It's located within the block of other single-family detached dwellings, but right there it's 4 units instead of 1. And when we do that, we're creating a mixed income neighborhood. We're providing additional opportunities for folks where maybe a single-family detached dwelling is not appropriate for them. We're providing areas for young professionals, small families, aging individuals who are downsizing. So that's a lot of words, but hopefully I answered your question.
No, and you brought up something that was, when you talked about the different types, that we talked about publicly when we were discussing the overlay.
Oh, yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
asked that because
Thank you.
I've had some constituents ask me, be concerned both ways, so.
Absolutely. So there's,
I wanna-
density needs, it should be a ground-up increase as the other policies are being implemented regarding economic development, regarding property maintenance, regarding transportation, that hopefully it all leads to the increase in density we need to hit that sweet spot where everything's sustainable. Not sustainable green, but sustainable from an economic standpoint. You know, we have sustainable bus transportation. We have sustainable multimodal transportation networks. So it's sustainable for bicycles, for pedestrians to walk.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
I have, just to clarify, the plan used to be on the top of the page, any page you went to on the city website, and now it has moved under city services, departments, economic and community development. I just had to find it for somebody the other day, and I was like, oop, I just want to, I didn't see it on the front page anymore, so you have to dig just a little bit, but you can find it under city services, departments, community economic development, unless it is out on the front page and I just am not seeing it.
So we're making some changes to the website to make it more user-friendly and make more sense as to where it is. It was on the front page. And also I wanted to say the paper copies, as of tomorrow, will be over here in the bank section for anybody who wants to view them. Please don't take them with you, but, because they are big, but you can sit, if you want to come in, there's couches, there's chairs, if you want to just sit and look, and my office is right there, you know, if you want a piece of paper, if anybody, the public wants to write some comments down, feel free to, and like I said, my office is there, and I'm in my office most every day, so.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
And I do see it actually on the front page. You just have to scroll down a little bit, so you can't.
Another link
Check
is
it.
on our agenda. If they go to
Okay.
the city council agendas and minutes.
Great.
You can click through on this agenda too.
Good.
Get to the whole. document.
I just want everybody to find it, and specifically, I would love to, or I hope you will hear from every city employee who does not live in the city, right? Because what would it take to encourage them to move into the city? What are they looking for that it doesn't have now? Because I would love, obviously, all the city employees to live in the city, but I know we don't have that, and that's okay. But their input, I think, would be very helpful to have. Thank you.
Is there any other council comment regarding this? Do we have any public comment regarding this matter? Okay. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Nancy. Is there a motion to place this on the February 4th, 2025 legislative agenda?
Let me clarify, you won't be placing it on the agenda.
Okay.
You'll just be at the, actually, they can even do it now, can't they, or?
They could put it on the March agenda now, and that's, either way is fine, we just need to set the
Okay.
hearing date.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
so we can do the 25th, March 18th?
Is that what we have, March
The
18th?
18th was the
18th.
hearing date, but it's up to you guys if you want it before a council meeting or if you want to hold a special meeting to have the hearing.
Because I figure everybody's schedules already have that date, and it's probably only gonna be a few minutes.
Yeah.
So, if you all wanna set the public hearing date and the date that it goes on the agenda to the March 18th,
2025.
is that what you'd like to do?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so,
So is there a motion to place this on the March 18th, 2025? Is that correct? Legislative agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that moves forward to be placed on our March 18th, 2025
that was my thing.
legislative agenda.
I didn't
Okay.
think I
Okay.
could, since it's a committee thing. Was that?
That was just setting the, well, actually setting the public hearing would be for all of you also.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
Yes.
play around with that a little bit there.
And, you know, just a further comment about that, so the public hearing would be March 18th, 2025, 6:00 PM here in council chambers.
That would be what'd you say, the public hearing?
Yes.
Yes,
Would be
public
at
hearing.
6, and
Yes.
then we would have council immediately following.
Right.
Yes, yes. Okay. Do we have any council comment regarding any other matters this evening? Do we have any administration comment regarding any other matters?
I just wanted to publicly thank Manuel Gomez for his assistance on Facebook this past week.
What did you say, Kim?
Manuel Gomez.
Oh, okay.
In his assistance with sharing information about our refuse billing. Greatly appreciated, thank you.
Our next committee meeting is February 26, 2025, 6:00 PM here in council chambers. As a reminder, agenda items are due by 12 noon on February 19th, 2025. Our meeting this evening is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Kim?